But I don't know if they're going to do any damage if they play poorly in these games. This is the ultimate test for them because all of these teams are either in front of them, chasing them, or chasing something.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. He's Brian McKeon. We've been hosting this show together since April 2024. We've seen lots of stuff happening with the Yankees. I've written for a bunch of places. Brian used to work for WFAN, and we're lifelong Yankee fans. We've been following this team since birth. Of course, my life's a lot longer than Brian's. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you know when those videos go live. And we have a TikTok page. If you're there, you can follow us at LockedOn_Yankees. On today's show, we'll preview the series the big series between the Yankees and the Astros in Houston. We will be taking our Tuesday trek through the minors. But first, Brian, the next 12 games are the real make it or break it games for the 2025 New York Yankees.
Yeah, I think they get into the postseason regardless of whether or not they do poorly or well in these 12 games. I think when me and you both say make it or break it, we mean if they have legitimate World Series aspirations. If you can play these teams well and prove that you can beat these teams, I think they can. There's reason to believe they can make a run start October. However, if you play terrible against these teams, you probably will still squeak into the postseason because of the 8 remaining teams for that one spot. No one seems to want to take it. But I don't know if they're going to do any damage if they play poorly in these games. This is the ultimate test for them because all of these teams are either in front of them, chasing them, or chasing something.
Right.
So I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to rebuild their own confidence, to rebuild their own fan base's confidence, and to show they're in serious business. Plus, Stacey, this is the roster they're going to go into the postseason with. They have no major injuries right now. They have no one that's on the IL that's missing games right now. This is who they're going in with. Their pitching staff is what it will be when the postseason starts. Their bullpen is what it will be when the postseason starts, and their entire lineup is what it will be. So let's see what they can do. Not an easy stretch, but it's the perfect kind of litmus test to have in mid-September or early September.
Yeah, so this is the way it goes. They're playing the Astros, the Blue Jays, Tigers, and Red Sox over the next 12 games or 2 weeks because there's a couple off days in there. They're on the road in Houston and Boston, which sandwich the home stretch, the home stand with the Jays and the Tigers. And I think it's pretty interesting that the two teams they've had trouble against, well, they've had the most trouble against the Blue Jays, Astros, and Red Sox, let's be real. But to have Houston and Boston as a road trip on the end of that stretch, on either end of that stretch, is kind of scary to me. I don't know if it scares you as much as it scares me.
Certainly not easy. I'll say this too with the Houston series, and we'll go over this in the third segment if you guys want to stay tuned. But their pitching matchups are not easy. It is not simple for them. They go up against Houston's best pitchers, which again, we can look at this either way. Like, I like that the competition is this way because it shows what you're worth. Like, if you beat Houston against a bunch of nobodies, you take the victories and you walk away with it. But you're a lot more proud of yourself if you walk away beating up on the Houston's best pitchers, proving to yourself that you can beat them. Because Houston right now, I mean, the Mariners and them are neck and neck. You could play Mariners in the first round. You could play Houston. You could play Boston. You don't know. The only team that they're not going to play in round one is the Tigers for sure.
Right.
Other than that, all these teams can be potential matchups in the next 2-3 weeks. So if you beat their best pitchers, it shows a little bit more to me. So yeah, I'd agree. And again, I like that they're playing these teams. They've had trouble against them for sure. But in these 12 games, Stacey, you go 7-4. I think you completely flip around that narrative all year that they can't be good teams. Completely. Because then, jabronis like us come on the show and we'll tell you, hey, they just beat up on these teams in September and it's how you're playing right now. It's how you played lately. It's not how you play all year. So, and we all say this too. Look at the amount of teams in years past. The Houston Astros when they were starting this run, the Kansas City Royals, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Texas Rangers. all these teams that come in with not necessarily World Series aspirations that just start playing hot around early September and ride that all the way to early November. And there you go. As bad of a stretch as the Yankees had in the middle of the summer, Stacey, for that 2-month stretch, if they can play as good as that stretch is from now up until November, they're winning the World Series.
Or if they played as well as they did to start the season. If they sandwich the horrible play during the summer with a hot start and a hot finish, no one will care about what happened in the summer.
No one will care. No one will talk about it. I'm just looking through this really quickly on my own account. They get the Tigers' best pitchers in that series. They're getting Casey Mize, and looks like they're going to get all their top starters. The Red Sox projected is not out yet. And the Blue Jays too. They get Gausman. They're going to get Scherzer. And then the last game they're going to get Bassett. All guys they've struggled against. You could view that either way. It's either a great thing or a terrible thing. I know they're about winning baseball games right now, but to me, if you can beat up on their best pitchers, you're proving to yourself that you can beat these teams in the postseason. And I think they can. Like, the talent level's there. There's no reason to look at these games and not think that they can make noise in the postseason. I'd like to ask you a question on this, by the way. Well, twofold. I'll start with one. What do they need to go in this 12-game stretch to give you the confidence moving forward? Like, what's the worst record they can have moving forward where you're like, okay, we're in a good spot?
I would say they definitely have to go over 500. Doesn't have to be much. So 7-5 would make me happy. Yeah,
7-5 is what I'm looking at too. That's my stretch where I have confidence, particularly how those 7 or 5 games look. If they get blown out in those 5 games, they're non-competitive. It'll give me a little bit of a different tune. But, or if it's 7-5, but the 5 in there is a sweep by the Blue Jays, I won't feel as good about it either. So I do want to see some competitive play. I want to ask you this too, though, because this will, I can almost guarantee there will be at least 2 or 3 segment 2s where this is a conversation that we discuss. How do you want the bullpen managed? The bullpen and the starting pitchers. Let's just say the pitching in general. Do you want guys to have quick triggers? Do you want the bullpen fully loaded going after this, like every game is a playoff game? Or do you want it managed where Yerry De Los Santos is coming in a 1-run game in the 7th inning?
Well, I would really like for the starters to make it so Boone doesn't have to go to the bullpen in the 5th or 6th inning.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a tall order with some of these guys. Not all of them. Because as you said, in the Houston series, they're facing their best pitchers, but Houston's facing pretty much the Yankees, 2 of the best Yankee pitchers out of the 3 games. So
yeah,
I think there's too many games lumped together. They can't kill the bullpen because you don't want the bullpen dead going into the playoffs. Also, like, I understand you want to have a good showing in these games, but you also don't want to tire these guys out where you make it to the wild card round and you lose in 2 games because the bullpen can't pitch.
True. Again, the schedule really lightens up afterwards. After this stretch, you have the Twins, Orioles, White Sox, and Orioles. So it's not, even though they could have trouble with the Orioles potentially, it's not like it's a killer schedule going forward. I'm just looking to see what the off days look like. They have an off day on the Monday in between the Blue Jays series and the Tiger series, and then that's it. It's straight through. Yeah. I'd say that I think this needs to be handled. There has to be urgency with the bullpen. I don't want them to kill the bullpen for sure, and I want them to give it a little bit of leeway, but you do need to have some urgency.
Right. If you see a starter is struggling, don't leave him in there. Put someone in there, because sometimes.
But I would say too, the string that's left on a Luke Weaver or a David Bednar when it comes to 3 days in a row, that has to be removed starting in September. I'm not saying go with these guys 4 or 5 days in a row, but if it's a 1-run game for 3 of these games in a row, which it very well could be because these are tough opponents, you got to use Bednar for that 3rd game in a row. I don't, if they're 1-1 in the series against Houston and it's a 5-4 game in the 9th, I don't want to see Boone going to Devin Williams because he used David Bednar in the first 2 games. You got to push these guys. You got to stretch their arms. You cannot keep David Bednar or Luke Weaver or Duvall out of a game late because you're worrying about the next series against the Red Sox or against the Tigers or against the Blue Jays. You can't do that. You have to manage. The game you're playing right now is the most important game on your schedule right now. That you cannot manage anymore like it's June or July. These games have to be managed like you are in September, October playoff baseball, because that's essentially where you're at right now. Ideally, you don't want to play a wild card series.
No.
Ideally, you want to play your home games, the American League Division Series in the Bronx. Therefore, you're trying to catch the Toronto Blue Jays. So you have to manage all these games like they're postseason games. So no more 3 days in a row. Can't use Luke Weaver in the 7th inning of a 1-run game because it's 3. No. Use these guys.
If he's only thrown, because that happened, when was that? A few weeks ago, where he only
9
threw
pitches was the day before.
Yeah, and then he didn't bring him in. No.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Again, I understand that strategy when it's June or July and you're trying to save a guy's arm for 162.
But not
that
now.
number is not 162 anymore, Stacey. That number is 140 or whatever it's at. So you have to use these guys liberally. You just have to.
Yeah. So here's my thing for the Yankees. They keep saying their goal's the World Series. They keep saying that they're one of the best teams in baseball. They keep saying they're going to turn it on. This is the time.
Yeah, prove it to
for
us.
you to turn it on. Prove it right now.
Show
These
me,
next
baby.
12 games. Okay?
100%.
I know it was cute. You dressed up like cowboys to go to Houston. And why were there no social media pictures, by the way? Why were there only camera shots from the press box?
Because it's all business. That's why. Let them joke and build the team camaraderie behind closed doors. But right now, it's all business.
I don't know.
We'll party in October.
Yeah. Or November, hopefully.
Yeah.
Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and any breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There is a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're taking our weekly trek through the minors, and it's getting down to the nitty-gritty for some of these teams. So we're going to tell you all about it next.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. Now, I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and it's such a fun way to stay locked in for the entire season. It's quick, easy, and honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football, as I've got my 2-3 TVs, the iPad, focusing on everything imaginable, plus playoff baseball's on. Everything is involved, and Prize Picks keeps me locked in throughout the entire day. I also love checking the projections, like Josh Allen, more or less than 270 passing yards, or Saquon Barkley, more or less than 1 rushing touchdown. And the best part, even if one of my picks misses, Prize Picks has invented the flex play, so you can still wind up doubling your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure that you're ready for kickoff with the can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And FanDuel is quick, it's easy, it's got every kind of player stat projection you could possibly find, plus you can bet props, in-game, same-game parlays. It's all available whenever you want. And I love using FanDuel because it fits however I like to bet, right? It's got all those different options available. It's quick, easy, and the best way to make a little more money and give you a little more energy on Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win 1 of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcasts.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. So it's time for all of your favorite segment of the week besides Fan Mail Friday. Of course, it's Stacey's Trek to the Minors. Stacey, let's hear it.
All right. So Scranton is leading their league. They went 3-3 against Syracuse, though, this past week. And they ended it with 2 shutout losses, which you don't want.
No.
Yeah. So that means Syracuse is now only 3 games back with 3 series to play before the end of the regular season. Scranton has a series against the Woo Sox on the road, Lehigh Valley at home, and Buffalo, Blue Jays, on the road. So Scranton needs to start to pull away here. Now, Buffalo and the Woo Sox are completely out of contention. They're not good. So the one team out of those three is Lehigh Valley actually has a chance to make the playoffs. So they will be wanting to make the playoffs and wanting to play hard against Scranton, where, you never know, though, because, Worcester and Buffalo may want to play spoiler. But if you're looking at those three series, really keep a lookout for Lehigh Valley next week to see how Scranton does against them.
You know what's funny? There's minor league teams' rosters are always fluctuating back and forth, obviously. And for some reason, some of these minor league clubs are just always good. And it obviously reflects on the franchise, but like the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs are always good. They're never a bad minor league team, which makes no sense because there's always players cycling in and out of that system. But that team is always good for some reason.
Yeah. So let's go Scranton.
Yes, let's go Scranton.
Next up, Somerset on Sunday. Left-hander Brock Selvage picked up the loss against Binghamton because remember, Scranton, Somerset, and Hudson Valley all played the Mets affiliates this past week. And that happened a few weeks before. So it's just, I guess that's how the schedule works. He went 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 4. His ERA is 5.23. Now, an injury hurt his progress this season, so it's been a bit of a tough time for him. 62 innings overall, 49 strikeouts, 35 walks. He's given up 4 home runs and 36 earned runs in those 62 innings. So it hasn't been great for him.
It's weird how one little injury hiccup can screw up a pitcher's entire season.
Yeah.
It's so strange. These guys are all about consistency.
Yeah. George Lombard Jr. not exactly hitting the cover off the ball. Going into Sunday's action, though, even though he's not hitting the cover off the ball, he had a 107 WRC plus. So not terrible, but, could be better. But the one thing about George Lombard Jr. is his walk rate is 6th in the Eastern League. So he's getting
seeing the ball well. He's seeing the ball well, getting on base, creating havoc. You think he starts next year in Double-A, or they try to lessen the competition for him at the start of the year? It's impressive that he's in Double-A, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too, because he's still really, really young. The Patriots will be facing New Hampshire at home this week. They finish the season on the road next week against Reading. Those are 2 weak opponents, so they need to take advantage of that.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, Hudson Valley, they are entering a 6-game series with Greensboro. They are 3 games behind Greensboro with the season ending next week. So they need to go 5-1 to make the playoffs, which is not an easy task at all.
No.
On Sunday, right-hander Cade Smith had a good outing against Brooklyn. Again, another Mets affiliate. 5 innings, no runs, only 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. And it was his first high-A win. He's made 7 starts at that level, a 3.38 ERA. He threw 67 pitches. His limit was 74. That was like his max for the season. He has one more start before the Yankees decide what to do with him during the offseason.
Yeah, and they were not going to the ERA, I think, is more of the focus there than the wins. So 3.38 ERA is pretty good for this year for him.
Yeah, 26 2/3 innings. Let's see, 27 Ks in those 26 2/3 innings. So,
just
may want it a little bit higher, but yeah, 15 walks and 10 earned runs in those 26 2/3 innings. Bryce Warrecker threw 1 1/3 inning on Sunday. He gave up 1 run on 2 hits, no walks, 3 Ks. He has a 2.21 ERA in that level. His second half has been good or solid. We'll say solid. 3.55 ERA in 25 1/3 innings. He has a 25-6 K to walk ratio. He hasn't been as dominant in the first half, in which he went he had a 0.98 ERA in 27 2/3 innings. But his, actually, it's a little more. He had 34.6 K to walk ratio. So
that's really good. That's what they want.
Maybe he got a little tired in the second half.
Never know. But that's what they're looking for. That K to walk ratio is exactly what the Yankees are into. Remember, all their pitchers, when you look at their pitching statistics in the minor leagues, they want high Ks per 9. That's what they're trying to develop down there.
Yeah. And finally, the poor Tampa Tarpons. They're 60-61 overall. They're 24-32 in the second half. They had more rainouts this past week that won't be made up because it doesn't matter. They're not making the playoffs. They have one series left before the season ends next week. It's a 7-game series with a doubleheader, but I mean, it's probably going to rain again, and they're probably going to have to just cancel games and not play them because that's how playing outdoors in Florida works.
Yeah.
Stinks
for them. And plus, sharing their field with the Tampa Bay Rays has got to be brutal down there too. That field has to be. They're going to have to redo the entire field this offseason. That field's got to be beat up.
Probably, I would assume so. Yeah. So there's our trek around the minors. Obviously, we'll let you know what's going on with the teams that are in the playoff hunt next week.
Yep, for sure.
All right, coming up, we'll preview the series against the Astros in Houston. It's a big one, and we'll tell you about some news from around the league next.
Hey, Locked On Yankees fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON to get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, or an eGifts card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now and use my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. And guys, not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman, and it appears right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. It also streams on our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast.
One quick reminder before we get to the preview between the Yankees and the Astros. Fan Mail Friday. That's pretty much everyone's favorite day of the week. This week, Brian's doing it by himself, and I am moving the deadline. So here's the thing. Insiders, get your questions in as soon as possible. If you're on YouTube, go to our channels page, click on the post tab, and you will see the latest post that I put up where you leave your questions. The deadline is this Thursday, September 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So get those questions in.
Feel free to ask whatever you want and come at me. I am not afraid of anything. Stacey, for the Yankees and Astros series, first, some clerical news. JC Escara and Ryan Yarbrough were both activated for this series. Rosters are expanding for September, so there is that added aspect of it too. We'll see how they handle both of these guys going forward. Tuesday will be an 8:10 start. It's Yes and a TBS start, so you'll have on both channels there available on the national feed for TBS. Max Fried, 14-5 with a 3.06 for the Yankees. They'll go up against Framber Valdez, who's 12-7 with a 3.18. They've actually hit Valdez pretty well over the last few years. So he's one of the few aces out there that they actually do okay against, which is shocking, to say the least. Wednesday, 8:10 again. That'll be a prime video game. Will Warren will go 8-6 with a 4.30 ERA. Like you mentioned earlier, out of their three top guys that'll be definitely pitching in the playoff rotation, Will Warren probably the first guy out on that list. But still, I'm sure he'll have a say in the postseason roster. There'll be a space for him. 4.30 ERA. Does that feel a little high for what Will Warren's done over the year?
Yeah. I think the two bad starts that he had kind of messed up
being left in a little too long.
Yeah.
He'll go up against Jason Alexander, not the guy from Seinfeld. He's 4-1 with a 4.61 ERA. Like Stacey says in our rundown that you guys can't see to lift the curtain, try to hit him this time, doofuses. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Thursday is a 7:40 start. Why are they starting a half hour early? What's the science behind that?
Because the Yankees have to get home?
Yeah, the half hour is really saving them on the tarmac. That game will be a yes game. Carlos Rodon will go 15-7 with a 3.18 ERA. He's pitched really well as of late. He'll go up against Christian Javier, who's 1-1 with a 3.38. So really important series for the Yankees going forward. Again, my thought here, what I'd like to see here, Please use the bullpen the way that it would be used in a playoff game. Please treat these games like they're postseason games. This 12-game stretch will make the most of your season. It kind of is make or break. You will probably get into the postseason regardless how you play here. But this will prove to me whether they have a legitimate chance going forward in October or not.
Right. And there is a difference. If, God forbid, Will Warren has a bad start against the Astros, don't bring in your good pitchers for that bullpen.
No.
Just chalk it off. It's a loss. Don't waste arms if you don't have to. But if it's a game where, Max Fried takes it to the 7th, do your top 3 guys in the bullpen manage it like you're supposed to manage it in the playoffs. That's what we mean.
Like I said earlier in the show, and this still holds true, if Carlos Rodon in the 3rd game and the Yankees are 1-1 with the Astros in that series, all of them have been 1-run games, and they've used Weaver and Bednar in all those games, and Carlos Rodon's out in the 7th inning, I better see Weaver and Bednar coming in those games.
Yeah,
I better not see Devin Williams closing a game here. And we say that, and she's shaking her head because we would not be remotely surprised if Devin Williams were used in a big spot.
Yeah.
That's what Boone would do. So
yes.
I liked his stuff that day. The bullpen he had, felt really good. We'll hear all the bull possible, but you have to treat these games like they're a postseason game and use Devin Williams in the 6th inning of a 3-run game to get those 3 outs. No problem with that. If it's a 1-run game, I don't want to see Devin Williams closing the game in this spot.
I just don't like that we can't trust him. But he had like 2 good months, and now he's back to where you're if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm holding up my fingers and looking through my fingers because that's basically how you have to watch Devin Williams right now. He's back in that mode.
That's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like you can't blame anyone but Devin Williams for that. That's where we're at in the season. And you know what? He's had his time to prove himself. And he simply hasn't done that. So we're at the point in the season where you can't trust him. And there you go. It's got to be. You cannot use him in big spots in these specifically in these 4 series. If you want to use those last 4 series against the Twins, 2 against the Orioles, the White Sox, use those to build Devin Williams' confidence back up. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
Against these teams, you can't afford to have those losses and what they feel like and look like. We are so concerned nowadays with this team, with the mental health of these players, and I'm not making light of that at all. I'm concerned with it too. But seeing the loss column have the Astros in it as opposed to the Orioles will hurt a lot more and do a lot more damage mentally to these players than it will against other teams. So get these wins against these teams. It'll build your confidence so much more as opposed to beating the White Sox in 3 weeks.
Is there any way we can hide Boone in a closet for these next
boy, if there was a possibility, I would make it happen. Trust me. And some news around the league. The Royals activated Jack Caglione back from the IL. He missed all of August with a hamstring injury. So that could be a big push for them as they're pushing for that final playoff spot. This is big for the Astros too with this Yankee series because the Royals are right on the Mariners' tail. So the Mariners are playing really tough. And if you saw last night, the Rays won. So the Rays have sneakily gotten themselves 5 games in that final playoff spot. That Rays-Mariners series going on this week in Tampa is actually a massive series for both of those teams. The Mariners need those games, and the Rays feel like they have a chance now, so they need those games. And the Mariners win a lot of their games with pitching. And that ballpark down there does not exactly lend to pitchers. So we'll see if the Rays can keep up their hot. They haven't lost a game in like 2 weeks because the Rays just Rays. That's what
the Yankees do. The Yankees beat them up, and now suddenly the Rays can't lose.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the Mariners, but this Astros series is huge for the Astros because if the Mariners start winning those games down south in Florida, the Astros got some pressure on their tail because that division is separated by 2 games.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if the Astros start losing these games to the Yankees and the Mariners are winning and the Mariners take that division, the Astros now fall to the 3rd wild card spot.
That's
so
crazy.
It's very make or break whether you win your division or make the or possibly fall out of it.
Isn't this what everyone wants, though? Like, you want chaos like this.
Yeah.
You would prefer it closer to the end of the season, not necessarily in the beginning of September, because things can reset and teams can pull away. But if this were going on with only 2 weeks left in the season, this would be amazing.
You're getting that chaos right now, and the Royals getting Caglione back is really huge because they need to start winning games. They're only 3 games out of it, though. They're only 3 games behind, so we'll see what winds up happening there. Another news: the Red Sox signed Aroldis Chapman to a 1-year extension, $13.3 million. He's been outstanding this year for them. It's got a team option attached to it for 2027. Did you see this report that came out yesterday? I'm not going to give it too much credence because I don't think it's true. I forgot the report. I think it was Sherman that came out. I don't want to discredit him by any means, but he basically came out with a story that Aroldis Chapman didn't figure out that he was supposed to aim his pitches or locate his pitches, should I say, until this year. apparently a catcher on the Red Sox informed him, hey, you should, throw this inside. And Chapman was like, what do you mean inside? I just throw the fastball. Your face is what my face was. I'll send you the video later on. And if you guys want to search and look it up, you can for yourselves. I'm not really buying it. I don't think you get to the major leagues without locating. And I don't think you're as successful as Aroldis Chapman without locating.
He's been pitching you can throw for 13 years.
Exactly. With success. Yeah. So I don't want to hear that he finally figured out how to locate pitches. That's the report that's out there. Again, not giving it too much credence because I don't really believe it, but I'm just giving you that story. If you want to look it up, it's quite funny though.
And if you want to see what my face looked like, watch this on YouTube because it was.
And Andrew Heaney was picked up by the Dodgers. He'll be eligible to pitch in the postseason. Of course, he'll have a 1 ERA, I'm assuming, going into the postseason.
Of course.
Why would that surprise anybody?
Yeah, when I saw that on Monday morning, I thought to myself, of course the Dodgers picked up Andrew Heaney. I was surprised they didn't get IKF. I was surprised they didn't get, you know what I mean? Like, I thought they were just going to pick up all
I know IKF's going to have a big series against the Yankees. 1,000% chance.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Is there a line on FanDuel for that? Because
that is going to hit in every game at least.
Yeah. Do a parlay. Do an IKF parlay if you can.
$5. If it's your first time, $5 gets you $300 in bonus bets. So get over to FanDuel.
Yeah. All right, it's another big moment for Locked On College football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.